things were asked for at the beginning of chapter 13. They are as follows. Purusha, Prakriti, Jnana, Jneyam, and then Kshetra, Kshetrajna. 6 things were talked about. Out of those 6 things, we swallowed up a few and came up with how many things? 3. We made the 6 into 3. Why? Because there is a resonance between Purusha and Kshetrajna, and there is a resonance between Prakriti and Kshetra, and that leaves us with Jnanam and Jneyam. So we reduced it to 3. Then we saw that up to verse 7, one topic was discussed. What was discussed? Kshetra and Kshetrajna topic was discussed in verses 2 to 7, verse 1 being the question. And what did we learn about Kshetra and Kshetrajna? Kshetra is a field. A field means because it is something that where the field means it's a fertile place, upalakshana for the mind, where the knowledge seeds can be sown and they take root and bear fruit. And what that fruit is going to be talked about later, towards the end of the chapter. So then we saw that Kshetrajna is the one who is unconnected to the Kshetra, the one who is the knower, the one who is the observer of the Kshetra, does not quote unquote become the Kshetra. And then there was a Mahavakya where the Lord says, Kshetrajna is mine. So you are Kshetrajna within this body, mind, sense complex. Why? Body is Kshetra, but then what is this now? I am the Kshetrajna, you are Kshetrajna of this body, mind, sense complex. I am Kshetrajna in all bodies, all minds, all senses, everywhere. Mahavakya. And what that means is that which is the Kshetrajna is in all bodies, one Kshetrajna, many bodies, many Kshetras. We also saw the 2 other derivations of the word Kshetra. Kshatatranat Kshetram. Kshata is fall. That which saves from a fall. What is that? Visupadhi. What kind of a fall does it save us from? Other adho yonis. Being born as animals, etc., where we cannot express pain and forget pain. We cannot even pursue this knowledge. Cannot pursue this knowledge. And we'll have to sit with the owner who is watching an online class. That's all one can do as a puppy, as a kitten. So that's all one can do. One cannot have the desire for this knowledge. So kshatat tranat, so kshetram, because it protects from kshata, fall into the vat of samsara by taking to this life of knowledge. And then there was one more derivation. What was that? So the kshetravat kshetram that we have seen. One more derivation was there. What was that? Ksharatvat. Very good. Ksharatvat. Ksharasvabhavat. What? Kshetram. The body, and indeed anything that I observe is subject to disintegration. Anything that I observe is finite and suffering from finitude. This is the understanding. So now, having talked about Kshetra and Kshetrajna, then the Lord picks up the answer to the next topic, which is Jnanam. Here Jnanam is what? Not Atmajnanam. Jnanam here is sadhana for Atmajnanam in the form of attitudes, values that one needs to have. And here is where it connects to chapter 12. Because previously we did not connect it to chapter 12 because it takes us on a different tangent with Arjuna's questions. Kshetra, Kshetrajna, he just fires off all these questions in the beginning. So then we don't see the immediate connection to chapter 12. But in the verses that are going to come, there is a direct connection to chapter 12. How? Because we see that the last 6 verses in chapter 12 from 14 to 20 describing the lakshana of the jnani as they transact business in the world, that is connected to one small refrain at the end of each verse. Same priyah yad bhaktah yah bhaktah same priyah. Such a person is dear to me. Such a person is dear to me. And so here, how to be that person who is a bhakta, who is dear to the Lord, because that doesn't happen overnight. How does that oneness come? How does that understanding of oneness come and sit and bless me? And so here there are some sadhanas given. Of course, the jnani lakshanas are sadhanas for everybody else who wants to be a jnani, but still there are some preparations given. A list of 20 qualities are given. And somebody asked me the question one time in a satsang, these are all qualities we should have for Atmajnana. Yes. So then why were not they talked about in chapter 1? And I just said jokingly, because all of us would have run away. Because seeing this intimidating list of all these things one has to cultivate, one would not even survive that chapter and go to the next chapter. Now what? Now we are hooked, hopefully. We love the Bhagavad Gita and we have Shraddha for it, and we have studied it, we have studied 2/3 of it, and so there is a desire to finish it and there is a desire to understand it more and more. And so this is a good time to review the values and attitudes that one needs to be equipped with in order to welcome the knowledge in the life. So that is from verses 8 to 12, I think. Am I right?
7.
No, that is because you don't have that question. If we have the question, it's 8. Yeah. So 8 to 12 is the question. So let us take down the map of this chapter, the summary of this chapter. 2 to 7, we have Kshetra Kshetrajna topic, verses 2 to 7. And what is attitudes and values called Jnanam, 8 to 12, verses 8 to 12. Then verses 13 to 19 we have what is Jneyam. And then what else is left? Purusha and Prakriti. That comprises verses 20 to 24. And then verses 25 to 35 have to do with what is Jnanam, Jnana Sadhana and Jnana Phalam is described, summing up the entire chapter. Okay? So let us jump from 8 to 12. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham स्थैर्यमात्म विनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम् तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा. All these are just a big list, and we have just sung the list in the Gita tune, that's all. Starts with Amanitvam. Mana, Manam, and Manita or Manitvam means Atmani Pujyatva Bhava. Pujyatva Bhava means one feels that I should be worshipped. That feeling. Why should I be worshipped? Because I can list a few things. The person can list a few things because they have so and so qualifications, because they are good at such and such, because they are a celebrity. Hollywood, Bollywood, Sandalwood, how many ever woods there are. They are a celebrity. Or they are politicians, leaders, nayakas. Or they have made them their name because they have won some prizes. Pulitzer Prize, Nobel Prize, this prize, that prize. So many things. Surprise. Anyway, so they have gained a lot of, they have commanded a lot of presence, public presence, or even they may not be big publicly, but still they may be well rounded, well educated, whatever it is. Even in their chota, small community, they are leaders, all this is there. And so there is a demand for respect. They will come into the room and see, where is my chair? Why is it in the back? Why is not Age? Why it is not right in the front? Where is my garland? And the garland is worn only for 2 seconds and then it is taken off. Somebody put so much effort for such a long time. But that's how it is. Where is my garland? Where is my bouquet? This is called Manita. So the antidote to this is what we will do. We will look at the antidote to each one because we are not interested in the Manitvam. We are interested in what? Amanitvam. So Manitvam is just described to get an idea of what it is. So what we want is the absence of Atmani Pujyatva Bhava. So what is the antidote? See, everything is coming from Ishvara. Go back to revise chapter 10. Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti Yoga means what? That the fact that I have these qualifications, why? What is the answer? Whatever I ask, if the answer is what? Bhagavan. So then, how come I became a celebrity? Bhagavan. How come I have all these abilities? Bhagavan. How come I have this following? Bhagavan. How come I have this presence? Bhagavan. Why? How come everybody, respects me? Bhagavan. It all goes back to Bhagavan. And then, what is my job? My job is to dedicate what belongs to Bhagavan back to Bhagavan. Because if I misappropriate what belongs to Bhagavan as belonging to me, misery will ensue. Amanitvam, check. Then Adambhitvam. Dambha. Dambha means very similar to Manita. There is a difference. So Manitvam means the person feels I should be respected. Why should they be respected? Because of all the things they have. Dambhi, the one who is a Dambhin, wants to be respected even though they don't have anything. That's the difference. That's the difference. Dambhi means what? At least the mani has some things. Maybe has a few degrees. If not a degree, has a pedigree. Comes from a very important scion of a family or something like that. Something is there. Or they have gained some whatever, they have gained some titles or whatever it is. They have written some books. Something or the other is there. And so for that, they want to be respected. And even that is a deterrent to Atmajnana. But then Dambha means what? This person hasn't done anything, still wants to be respected. This will be like the person who says, I really am behind the organizing committee. I am the one who put up everything. But I told them, don't put my name in the brochure because I am a very humble person. And then so saying, this is how they, maybe there is a presentation of self. So Dambha means not having done anything, wants to be included in the list of accolades and list of people being honored. What is the antidote for Adambhitva? How to cultivate Adambhitvam? How to cultivate Adambhitvam is simple. Just say that whatever, in the first instance, what do we say? Whatever I have done comes from Bhagavan. Goes back to Bhagavan, is Bhagavan. Here, I have not done anything. Still, I am wanting to be noticed, wanting to be worshipped. That means what? There is a deep, deep insecurity at the center of the heart. I want to matter. And that person is prime for this knowledge, ready for this knowledge. Because this knowledge is the only antidote. And what does the knowledge say? You already matter. You are the only thing that matters. There is nothing like you. There is nothing unlike you. There is nothing other than you. You are the only thing that matters. And so this insecurity has to be addressed, terminally addressed, meaning it is put to an end finally by Atmajnanam, and then relatively addressed through taking recourse to Bhagavan. Have an altar, and then the person who has Dambhita surrenders that insecurity to Bhagavan. And then this is the second one. What is the third one? Ahimsa. Ahimsa we all know. Himsa is on many, many levels. Hurting through action is what we know best. But then there is also hurting through words. So that is how it is. And then as one becomes much more in this knowledge, thoughts also, we understand that thoughts also are very powerful. While we cannot be responsible for our thoughts. Thoughts may come, all kinds of mad thoughts come. But then once the thought comes, we can neutralize that. So if a thought comes that is himsatmaka to somebody else, the antidote is to say Shiva Shiva or Narayana Narayana. You do immediately the prayaschitta to that thought is there. So just say Shiva Shiva, Narayana Narayana, take it away, Hare Hare, take it away. And so this is the effects of that thought are neutralized. So ahimsa is a value that is very close to Atmajnana. Himsa means what? Hurt, violence. And so if anybody is asked the question, do you want to be hurt? Whether that person is Chinese or Japanese or coming from Alaska or Australia or wherever, what will all they say? No. Nobody wants himsa to be done to them, and so therefore the only way to practice it, of course we have laws and everything codified, but the only way to practice ahimsa is to make sure that I don't hurt others. It is what is called the, golden rule. Do not do unto others what you don't want to be done to you. Do unto others what you want to be done to you. This is the golden rule. And you practice ahimsa and other people also practice ahimsa towards you. That is what it is. And nobody does intentionally. Unintentionally only things happen. We get carried away with words. We don't know that the other person also has some triggers. And so we easily get carried away and say something which we don't mean. But the other person takes it a certain way and becomes upset. And then two ways we can look at it. One can say, I'm not responsible, they took it the wrong way, I didn't mean it, and I can walk away. Nothing wrong. That is where one is. But as one becomes more and more sensitive, and as one grows in this knowledge, one uses the words in a more and more nuanced way. It's actually so beautiful. One learns to use the words in a way that does not, generally speaking, in a way that does not trigger certain things in others. It's an art. It's an ongoing art. And how do we learn it? By tripping on our words repeatedly, again and again, and being humble enough to acknowledge, yes, I could have put this better. Yes, I acknowledge that this perhaps was not the best choice of words. And I can see, even though you may not tell the other person, I can see that it has triggered something, because you don't even know what it has triggered. It has triggered something in somebody. So therefore, I be a person who is responsible for my use of words. So in the next instance, I use the words in a very responsible, deliberate, measured and nuanced way. This is something really to learn, and we are all students of this for life, really. Because, there might be still instances where one's words, even after being very careful, it may hurt somebody or trigger somebody. For that, one cannot be responsible, otherwise one will not be able to talk at all. So, one cannot be responsible, but generally speaking, one tries to use words in a way that does not bring out the worst in others. This is a very important thing, and because it goes against the grain of the certain tendencies which everybody has to be quick, to be impulsive, to just say what's on the mind and to just say it in a way however it comes. So here this is a very measured way of speaking, measured way of being, so that any word that comes out of the mouth is seen as a blessing, becomes a blessing for others. And that is something to cultivate as far as verbal ahimsa is concerned. It's not just avoiding himsa, but being a source of blessing through one's words. This is what one has to deliberately cultivate. In the beginning, it is so humbling. Really, it is humbling. After a while, it becomes somewhat natural. But then one keeps falling. One keeps going back, tripping all over the grace of Vagdevi. And slowly, with time, with effort, and with the help of this knowledge, one overcomes the impulsivity. And then at the level of action also, ahimsa. Ahimsa towards sarva bhutana, towards all bhutas. And in the ancient times, in the olden times, that's why we had this rangoli in the front of the house. Now it is made of quarry dust. It's not the rangoli. Rangoli should be made of what? Rice flour. And then if you wanted some design, there was always some kumkum and chandan, yellow and red color were there enough. And so that was done in the front of the house. It was automatic pest control. All the ants are invited, everything is invited, just feast right there. And then behind that they would all be antiseptic, what is that, lepanam, everything was there, and ancient cow, not current cow. And so current cow eats plastic, unfortunately. Yeah, it's very sad. But ancient cow, which was grass fed and everything, that had certain antiseptic properties, and so it used to be anointed so that nothing would come. And so we practiced this kind of ahimsa based ecology for many, many years, and we still do in the heartland, in small villages, etc. It is still done. And so that is ahimsa. How is that connected to Atma Jnanam? Because when I am two reasons. One, when I am the initiator of himsa, then I keep collecting karma. This is not good. Okay? And then the more I collect this kind of a karma, there is guilt. Second reason. And because of the guilt of having hurt somebody or having done something, even though one may brag about it. One may be very, one may have a posture that is, very bravado posture. I'm not affected. That person deserved it. I had to do it, etc. Still, still inside there is a rift. And that inner rift means there is duality. And because there is duality, what is there? The knowledge of the self does not sit, because that inner duality is not healed. Then this we have visited many times. What is the next one? Kshanti. Kshanti. Kshanti is not Shanti. Ksha. And then Ksham. Ksham means we see it as forgiveness, but actually it is best translated as accommodation. Kshanti, and one of the 6 things that we studied earlier, Samadhi, Shatka, Sampatti, Titiksha, are very much connected. Titiksha means what? Forbearance. You learn to just put up with things you cannot change. Things you cannot change does not just include the weather, it also, inner or outer, it also includes people and their moods. You cannot change the people's weather. And that's why it's called weather, because you don't know whether they are having a good day or not. So what do you do about this weather? You just accommodate. You allow people to be, give them the freedom to be. Oh, but they are being rude. Let them be rude. It's okay. Go away from their line of whatever it is. Stand on the side. Deflect. Let them be rude. It's okay. And then if they are, you can just tell them, I can appreciate. If they are, what to do if they are rude against me? You have a healthy boundary. You can tell them something like this, that I appreciate that you are upset. I can see that you are angry. But I do not appreciate that I am the target of your anger. Simple. I can see that you are angry. But your anger is really not directed against me. Must be something else. Even if you don't say that, know that. Because otherwise what happens, we take everything personally. Every look, every word, everything we take personally. And that is a very big burden to bear. So, Kshanti means allowing people to be in their spaces. However they are, whoever they are. Very, very first, there is still a judgment. I allow the judgment also to be, because I am practicing Kshanti towards myself as well, not just towards the other. I allow myself to be. I watch my reactivity. I watch my responses. And I watch my, whatever the impulses there are. And then reactions, everything I watch. And then I watch the other persons also. And then I let it all be. Kshanti. This is how a person grows. Kshanti is a very important quality. Extremely important. And you see the great sages like even this, what is that, one of our Shankaracharyas from Kanchi was imprisoned. Suddenly they came to the ashram. He had not done anything wrong, but somehow out of gullibility he was implicated. And they just came and then caught hold of him and took him. You should see that video. I mean, he looks a little shocked, naturally. A 75-year-old man suddenly being dragged out of the ashram. But he was very calm, very still. And even in the jail, it is said, where he was, people used to come to take his blessings. Not the people, visitors, but even the jail people. They were apologizing and they were saying, please bless this banana and give me prasad, please bless this kumkumam and give me, please bless this chandan vibhuti and give me. And he gave. He didn't say, idiots, you are my gatekeepers, why are you doing this? He didn't say that. So many days, almost like a month or 2 months he was imprisoned. And then after that he was exonerated and then, was released. It was just exactly the same. It was just so, it was sad to watch, but very sweet to see that kshanti, that non-reactivity, the accommodation of not just the people, but the accommodation of the situation, the impossible situation in which he found himself. Amazing. Then this is kshanti. It really, the more kshanti we have, the closer we are to the assimilation of this knowledge. Absolutely true. Because then finally I can focus instead of everything being in my sights. I'm worried about this one, I'm worried about that one, why is this one behaving, what is this one thinking of me? Now what? It's just coming to a focus. And so I make myself strong. I make myself strong not to be affected by others around me. That is part B of kshanti. The more I let people be, the less I am affected by them. This is something which is very nice to understand. Then the next one is arjava, riju bhava, arjava. So, riju bhava means a certain uprightness. And what is this uprightness? A certain connection. Connection between what? Vak and the thought, manaha, vak and kaya. Manaha, mind, vak, speech, kaya. Kaya means what? Body. So there is a line, an alignment between what the person thinks, what the person says, and what the person does. There is an alignment. An alignment between what the person thinks, what the person says, what the person does. Difficult because we are used to what? A public persona and a private presence, as is evidenced by so many wrong texts that get sent by these celebrities, the politicians and all, or what is called hot mic moments. They think the mic is off and they think they have finished talking, and then the janta is slowly going out of the room, and then the person thinks mic is off, neta, leader. And what does this happened in America? And the leader said, what a bunch of idiots. This is what he said. They come, night after night they come and they listen. And then what? He was out of the race. People just couldn't handle it. But the mic was on, and all the people who had done such a lot of sacrifice to park the car 1 mile away and walk to the event, and paid so much to enter, and all these things, fundraiser it was. And then what gullible people, what gullible idiots, or something like that he said. And then that was it, all hell broke loose, and he had to, I think it happened sometime last year, he had to resign. Could not continue to campaign. And so like this, we are used to, generally, people have a public presentation of self. And there what? Tip top. Nothing, not a hair out of place. And then the private persona is very hair raising. Okay? There is no connection between the two. And here, because it is Vedanta and oneness, we bring the two together closer and closer till there is total alignment. It does not happen overnight, it happens over the course of the lifetime, more and more. This is Arjavam. So Arjavam is whatever I think, I am able to articulate. It's not that I think one thing and say something totally different. What I don't mean, I say. That gets me into trouble, because who I have said what to, I have to keep track now. 100 versions of things I have told to 100 people, I have to keep track. It's very stressful. So Arjavam is what I think, I say, the sankalpa. First there might be, oh, should I do this, should I not? That's okay. But then after that I make up my mind, this is what I'm going to do. And then what? Ahimsa and Arjavam. Arjavam means once I have made up my mind, I say, I declare, this is what I am going to do. And then what is left? To actually do it. That is what is left. And in fact, the whole Mahabharata is all resting on a promise made by Bhishma never to marry. Whole Mahabharata sticks on that given word. Once the word is given, and then there is another word given. What? By Arjuna. Arjuna, says yes to what Kunti says. Share everything. Arjuna says, look at what I brought, mother, surprise. And he has brought a bride home. And she says, I'm doing puja. I have already told you boys, please share whatever you have. And that becomes the vak is, once the word is uttered, this is how it is. Whole Ramayana because of promise. Promise given to Kaikeyi by Dasharatha. And that becomes the impetus for the entire Ramayana. Imagine if Kaikeyi had not demanded those promises, had not encashed on the boons given by Dasharatha on the coronation day, we would have a very short Ramayana, 3 pages. We would have, okay, the coronation went very well, and then everybody lived happily ever after. But that is not there. Why? Because people die but keep their word. This is Arjavam. Arjavam. Dasharatha was a man of great principles. He had Arjavam, his whole archetype. He is the archetype of Arjavam. Because all he had to tell Kaikeyi was, shut up, get dressed. What boons? I don't remember any boons. I don't remember that I gave you 2 boons. He could have just pretended, but he could not. Arjavam. And then the next one, Acharya Upasanam. Upasanam means meditation or worship of Acharya. Here it's not worship. One can take it that way, but it's more useful to say that it is respect shown to the source of knowledge. Any knowledge. Even if I have to study physics, or if I have to even study about an ideology, then I have to have respect for the source. Whoever came up with that knowledge or whoever is an expert in that field, I should have some respect for that person. Otherwise, whatever they give, it will just go over the head. It will not sit. And so, respect for the source of the knowledge is called Acharya Upasana. And if this is true in all branches of knowledge, it is more so valid in Vedanta Shastra, because in Vedanta Shastra is a very teacher-heavy knowledge, because the Shastra does not speak on its own. It needs a microphone. And the microphone, the amplifier of this knowledge is who? Shastra, teacher. The teacher is the one who brings the pramana alive. That's why even if we read the Kathopanishad, what goes in the head? Nothing. Yeah, that's what will happen. Yes, we can read the translation, enjoy the story of Nachiketa, get a few bits and pieces here. But it's not like the instruction we have been receiving. It's totally different. Not at that level at all, where we are able to actually see the truth of what is being told. And so that's why it says, Adi Shankara says, Shastrajñopi. Shastrajña means the one who has memorized the Vedas, like our Pathashala students are doing, not necessarily the meaning, and who is a Pandita of what? Samskritam. Shastrajñopi Swatantriyena Brahmanveshanam na kuryat. May one not engage in inquiry into Brahman by oneself, even though one knows what is what, even though one knows how to study, how to read, and how to understand. Still, you need a teacher. So, since it is teacher dependent, I make sure that I am in the right relationship to the source of knowledge. And that is what it is. And that includes, that's why we say Sahana Bhavatu mantra. May we accomplish great things together. It's always in the dual. There may be 100 people in the room, but it is one-on-one. That's why the dual is there. Saha now avatu. May this great being, Ishvara, protect us both. Then Sahanau Bhunaktu. May this great being, Ishvara, protect and nurture us both. Saha, here it's not the Ishvara. Saha means together. Together, let us accomplish great things. Viryam karavavai. What is the great thing here? Gaining the knowledge. That's the greatest thing. Saha viryam karavavai. And then may our studies be brilliant. May the teacher really be radiant, continuing to teach this. May the student just also blossom in radiance. Tejasvinau adhitam astu. Let us make this teaching brilliant. Let this teaching make us brilliant. And then finally what? Ma vidvishavahai. Dvish literally means to hate. But why will the teacher hate the student? Not really possible. Otherwise the teacher will not teach. And then why will the student hate the teacher? If the student has come all the way to study, that is also not generally possible. So the hate, the word dvish, we take to mean misunderstand. May I not misunderstand the teacher. May I not ever misunderstand the teacher. And therefore, because let me be in the right flow of this knowledge. Same thing is expressed in the other Shanti mantra. Maham Brahmanira Kuryam. May I never negate or set aside Brahman, dismiss Brahman. Mama Brahmanira Karot. May Brahman Bhagavan never dismiss me. May I never feel that Bhagavan has abandoned me. Because Bhagavan hasn't. So that is these kinds of prayers help us to be in right relationship to the Shastra, to the source of the knowledge, which is the teacher, along with the Shastra. Then Shaucham. Shaucham, both inner and outer. Outer Shaucham comes very easily, especially in tropical countries. You can't really go without outer Shaucham. Shaucham means purity, cleanliness. Inner Shaucham. Inner Shaucham is through a special soap called Narayana soap. Narayana chanting, Hari chanting, meditation, japa, shloka, mantras make the heart a little more, what's the word for it? Present, clear. Ragadveshas, even if they are not eliminated, they are reduced and they are sleeping most of the time. We love sleeping Ragadveshas. Let the sleeping Ragadveshas lie. Let them keep sleeping, that is the prayer. Shaucham, Sthiryam, Sthirata. The personality generally goes like this. Ecstasy, agony. Ecstasy, agony. And so stairyam means there is a certain kind of a steadiness and a staying power in the pursuit. I don't just quit because the going gets tough, the tough don't get going. So I have the ability to stay. This goes back to kshanti, forbearance, titiksha, etc. Then Atma Vinigraha. Vinigraha, discipline. Atma is here, what? Mind. Atma Vinigraha. A certain kind of an orderliness and discipline when it comes to the undertaking of daily activities. There is a certain routine that I have. And the routine is important because the routine actually nurtures one in a very, very beautiful way. It may look boring. Oh, I have to do this at this time. Oh, come on. It's just like, why? I just want a break. I can't handle this. Why should I do this? The feeling may be there. But then, when I keep to the routine, some miracle happens. The body thrives, the mind thrives, and then difficult thoughts and issues somehow miraculously stay away or impact me very, very little. So this is Atma Vinigraha. As much as possible, I put the body-mind sense complex on a diet of a beautiful routine that nurtures me and that helps me to be in sight of this knowledge at all times. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Artha, objects. Indriya, sense organs. Indriyartha, sense objects. Sense objects, with regard to the sense object, we cultivate vairagya more and more. How? By following a practice of deferred gratification. Because if you say, I'm never going to have laddu, just now on Vijayadashmi day, I am making a sankalpa, NML, no more laddus. I say that. No more laddus. I am eating too many sweets, not good. No more laddus. And then what? Laddu comes. And when laddu comes, what happens? One becomes laddu. Yeah, over the laddu. Laddu means mad. One becomes laddu. One becomes totally mad over the laddus. So the deferred gratification means never say never. Because your starting point is what? The starting point is from a place of, oh my God, I have to have this. Otherwise, I am not complete. I have to have something. And I am already every day vairagya, vairagya, vairagya. All you get is some sweets. Let me enjoy that. And then so valid. The point is valid. But then if I say never am I going to touch this, then difficulty comes because that such a sankalpa gets easily broken. Why? Because I am here, the sankalpa is there. Do you see the mismatch? Yeah. So if I am here in terms of my own vinigraha, the sankalpa must be right there. So I won't have the laddu right now. I will have the laddu 2 hours later. And so 2 hours, you go for a walk, go somewhere, go somewhere, do something, chant, go to mandirs, and then 2 hours later, you can sit and enjoy. Many times what happens, 2 hours later you forget because you're doing something so interesting. You forget till the next day, and the next day the laddu is still there, then it becomes a surprise. So this is called deferred gratification, not the stoppage of everything. So the vairagya is slowly, what's the rush? We have our whole life for this. Why to rush? No need to rush, no need to push. Slowly we grow, because we are growing anyway. Slowly we grow. So just say, laddu at 8 o'clock, if it is 6 o'clock now. Laddu at 8 o'clock, not right now. And then when we master the 2 hour time frame, then what do? 4 hours. and in between you change the channel. Hide the laddu, don't even look at it. Hide it away from yourself. And then later on, after 4 hours, we can enjoy. Same thing with all the things in the universe. Indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankarah evacha. Anahankara need not be mentioned. Ahankara means egoism, too much of the I. That was already talked about where in the first two. What are the first two? Manita, Dambhita. It was already mentioned, wasn't it? Because the Mani is what? Ahankari. Dambhi is also Ahankari. It's all about this is this. But since Lord Vyasa mentions it, we have to look at the meaning slowly and fully and carefully. So the slight difference between these 3 things which look very similar may be apt right now. So Manita is at the level of the mind. Why? Because the Mani thinks, I am due for this respect. Other people may not even know that this person has so many accomplishments, etc., etc. But the Mani thinks they should know and they should honor me as a result. So this is the Manita is a mental issue. Okay? No pun intended. Literally, where it happens, I am telling. It's a mental issue. And then Dambhita is a physical issue. There is a aplomb. There is a kind of a presentation of self. There is pushing. There is a show offiness. There is a pomp and a flair about the person. Or a lot of, what is that? Hot air. Dambhita. So that is the thing. And then Ahankara is at the level of the body. Because Kara, it's like not at the body. Vak. Body we already discussed. What was that? The previous one. Dambhita. Dambhita is at the level of the body. The Manita is at the level of the Manas. And then Ahankara is the level of Vak. Why the Ahankari will say, me. I did this. What about me? So Mamakara, Ahankara, this is the slight difference. Anahankara, absence of Ahankara. What is that? Humility. Even if somebody says something wrong, let's say, somebody says something wrong about me, which is not true at all. Suppose somebody says, you are a thief. And what do I know about myself? I haven't stolen anything. I am not a thief. Let's say I know. But yet, what happens? Bristling happens. How they can call me a thief? They don't even know me. How did they call me a thief? This is what is Ahankara, really. Even though we may think the reaction is justified, it is justified on the level of perhaps everyday, transactional reality, but really we are not interested in the transactional reality. We are interested in the transcendental reality. And how to go from the transactional to the transcendental? Anahankaraha evacha. And so what is it? So if I know I haven't taken something that doesn't belong to me, this other person is calling me a thief, then I have many options. First I say, mistaken identity. I can just walk away. Okay, you are entitled to your opinion again. Not in a harsh way, but just matter of fact way. Interesting. Or I can, if the person matters to me, I can sit them down and again dispassionately say, wonder why you think that? Wonder why you say, I stole something, or I'm a thief. Why do you say that? Dispassionately one can say. And then one can say, no, I think there is a misunderstanding. I don't think this happened. Must be somebody else. Let me help you look for that object, or whatever it is. Without that reactivity, and there is a humility. Even if somebody says something about me that is not true, I allow them to be who they are. Oh, will I not become a doormat? You won't. You won't become a doormat. Doormat means the one who is, unable to protect oneself. But here, the question is, do I need the protection? That is the question one asks. Because in every situation, I may not be targeted. When I am not targeted, do I need the protection? This is what one has to do, little bit of vichara. Then the next one is a long compound. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshan darshanam. One word, not a sentence. 2 padas. 16 syllables, 1 word. Janma cha, mrityu cha, jara cha, vyadhi cha. So, janma mrityu jara vyadhishu. 7th case, compound. So, in janma, what is janma? Death. No, birth. Very good. So, mrityu, death. Jara, geriatry, old age. Vyadhi, that which comes with jara. What is that? Illness, disease. In all of this, I have to see at least 2 things. Dukkha. I have to see dukkha in janma. Janma you celebrate by giving pedas and sweets and everything. When a child is born, sweets are distributed. So it's very difficult to think of janma as dukkha. But think of so many babies. They are born with some congenital heart defect. All life, every 2 years they have to have new pacemaker, new kind of valve, heart valves, everything. And so sometimes janma itself is besought with this. And the jnani, or the one who is almost a jnani, looks at it this way. How does that? That the janma leads to defects. It is a defect. Why? Because it leads to various things within samsara. Janma and mrityu. This is the 2 ends of all the other modifications. 6 modifications, the other 4 are in between the sandwich bread of janma and mrityu. That is the bread, in between all the filling is there. Jara, old age. And vyadhi, all 4 are already talked about. So jara, vyadhi, everywhere there is a limitation. Dukkha is there, dosha is there. Dosha means it is finite. Dosha of finitude is there. What do I want? Infinite. When do I want it? In the last birth I want it. Since then I have been wanting it. And so therefore I keep seeing the problems with the all the stages of life, so that I am not enamored by this body, mind, sense complex. I have vairagya. Dukkha doshadi darshanam. Asaktihi, generally speaking, there is no sakti, sajj, to get stuck. Saktihi, getting stuck, and then asaktihi, coming unstuck. Asaktihi, and then coming unstuck. From what? Dysfunctional relationships. It will explain. The verse itself will explain. Anabhishvam asaktihi means general sense of freedom from dysfunctional and codependent relationships. Dysfunctional relationships that don't serve me, that don't help me to grow, that want me to be in the same place always. So I can still maintain a connection with that person, because you can't leave everybody. I can still maintain a connection with that person while not being affected and not being too much invested in the other person's views about me and about the situation, any situation. So then anabhishvangaha. Anabhishvangaha means not over attachment. No over attachment. Adi Shankara points out, as long as there is mamakara means mera, meri, mine. In Hindi we say mera, ye mera hai, this person is mine, or ye meri hai. That's how it starts. Then mera, meri becomes mara, mari. So mara, mari after, because of mera, meri. So this is what happens. Mara, mari means beatings. Okay, mera, meri means mine, mine, mine. First mind, and then leading to nice prahara. Okay. So first it is all mind. And Adi Shankara says, be careful. When you say that first level itself, be careful. Put a full stop there. If you don't put a full stop there, it is over affection. And so then it is what? It is stifling the other person. And if such a such person have children, they will not, that person will not be a mother. They will smother. That's what it is. They will just stifle the person and try to own the person's affection. And so there should be anabhishvangaha, the Gita says, with reference to a few things. Putra. Putra means what? Child. Offspring. My son, my daughter, okay. Me son, me daughter, not okay, Adi Shankara says. The person should not become an extension of I. That is the wrong, that is abhishvanga. To have a certain sense of affection, normal. But to make that an extension of me, that leads to sorrow. Anabhishvangaha putra dara. Dara means wife. In fact, it's very interesting. The word wife has 3 derivations, 3 words in Sanskritam. One is neuter, kalatram, wife. Bharya, patni, that is also wife, feminine. And then dara, masculine word but means wife. Dara means wife. So with reference to the spouse, wife here means spouse. Putra, dara and griha. Griha means what? House. My house and then me house. Oh, such a nice house you have. The house doesn't say thank you. Who says thank you? The owner says thank you. Did I compliment the owner of the house? No. I said nice house. But still, that, what is that? That this thing is there. Association, identification is there. Putradara grihadishu anabhishvangaha. More we'll see in the night class. 8:15. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Arjun and Akhil have made some memory-based Ayurvedic preparation for memory. Okay? So to increase memory. So you can have, they'll give the recipe for a small fee.